Hey everybody, I'm glad you can join me. My name is Jerry. Today we're going to talk about the 2017 Suzuki GSX-R1000R. We're going to show you how to put some tank grip on the bike itself and why do we need it. You know, I see a lot of people riding motorcycle and I see some questionable riding techniques. We're going to show you how tank grip can really make for a better ride. So stick with me because that's coming up right now. HT Moto. You can go to their website, just Google HT Moto. I think it's htmoto.com, but I'm not positive. They're out of Anaheim, California. And if you want the phone number, 714-635-6350. They also do custom seats. So if you want a custom seat done by the for your motorcycle, they'll do it. I heard they're really nice. I saw some of the reviews. All of the stuff that they do is made in the USA. Which for me, you know, I prefer to buy US, support US companies. Oh, here's a website, the htmoto.us. James Britton uses HT Moto tank grip, and that's how I found out about it. 3/8 of an inch, maybe max. Yeah, it's nice. I can see why it's got a good little feel to it. Be nice and grippy. Okay. I tend to wear, you know, leather pants or racing style leather pants with protection in the knees and everything because I'm a former racer and I don't like to take risks, so that looks like it's going to be nice, good traction. You can see everything that comes in the package, right? Just show you one final layout, right? This is everything that comes in the package besides, you know, a couple stickers, right? HT Moto stickers. Hey, you never know, they might sponsor you if you're a stunt rider or whatever, or I don't know. I probably won't be looking for sponsorship from them, but I'm just saying if you wanted to, maybe the stickers mean something. So it's cool that they sent the stickers along. So there's the product. So one of the things to put on the tank grip is understanding the contour of the tank and understanding where does your body, particularly the inside of your legs and your side of your kneecaps, where do they touch on the tank? Now, sometimes, you know, you're going to be riding close to the tank, and sometimes you're going to be back away from the tank. Just depends on what's going on. So you need to be aware that you need, for me personally, I like to have tank grip that covers that entire range of where my legs and my knees are going to be. At this point, I got a little piece of cardboard cut out for my first section that I'm going to contour the tank grip to. Okay, and then here I'm at my workbench. You can see I got a lot of other projects going on, things not related to motorcycle. Just some of the things that I do besides motorcycle work. There's some old grips. Okay. Smart Gravity electric project. I got some news on that, but that's a different video for those of you that watch my channel for that. There's the gearbox. Okay. We're going to do a complete overhaul and try something new. Anyway, back to tank grip. Okay. So, you know, we're gonna cut basically the same shape right here. What's good about this is I do have a straight line, so I can match up the straight line with one side here, which makes things easy. Right. So now that I have the piece cut out with mostly just with scissors and a little bit of an X-Acto knife to try to get the nice little radius here. Okay, I'm just laying it in there before I take the backing. The 3M backing is still on there, right? I haven't peeled it off. And I'm just laying it up in there to see, does it fit my lines? And look at that. Looks really good. Now you can shape this any way you want, guys. You don't have to put all that tank grip on there like I did. Okay, and the 3M backing, the 3M adhesive on this tank grip, HT Moto tank grip, is really good. Look at that. There's absolutely no gap here. Okay. So if you some people are just going to cut it up to there and then cut across. Whatever you want to do is up to you. Okay. I'm going for quite a bit of tank grip because I do some wheelies and I do things that require me to really be attached to the motorcycle with my lower body. I made the last cut and it's looking pretty good.
So there you go, guys. That side of the bike, the clutch side, is all done. I have all the templates here except for one I kind of did by hand, but the rest are templated, so that makes it really easy for me to do the other side. You can see here I'm getting ready to do the brake side of the bike. Okay, that's going to be for the big piece on the tank. And yeah, so that's what's really cool about having the little pieces of cardboard, is even that little piece right there, right? So they're all right there ready to roll. You know, all you do is, if it went this way on one side, you just flip it over that way and you're good to go for the other side, right? That's how easy it is. Just make sure you put it up against the bike before you do your cuts, and then come back to your work area and cut them up.
So today I'm going to talk about a few things. First off, what's up with the HT Moto Grip, tank grip? Why do we need it? That's actually a pretty in-depth subject, tank grip. A lot of riders will just say, oh, that's for track. And I think a lot of it's because of misunderstanding of exactly how do we attach ourselves to the motorcycle. That may sound like a strange thing to say, but it's not. Okay. You know, the clutch assist on this motorcycle is actually a very cool feature. You just let the clutch out, and the bike actually idles up a couple hundred RPMs or so, and assists you in getting the bike rolling. Let's talk about how do we attach ourselves to the motorcycle. How do we stay one with the bike? And what's up with the tank grip? How does that come into play? Okay, so I got tank grip on there on the side of the bike, and let me find a place where I can brake kind of hard, and I think it'll make the point. Did that sign just say 35? Well, good thing I'm doing 35 then, right, folks? Okay. Before I go on to the whole tank grip thing and how do we attach ourselves to the motorcycle and what am I really talking about, because I'm going to need to be moving to do that. So while I'm sitting at the gas station, let me just change topics here for a moment. I had some people comment on some YouTube channel. I don't think it was mine, one of the channels I follow. We were talking about octane. Brock Davidson was on there, and he's commenting on there, and he's a well-informed individual, former motorcycle drag racer. Check out his YouTube channel. Get a chance, pretty cool. So, was on the channel and making comments about octane. And a lot of people have misunderstanding about the octane. You know, oh my gosh, but higher octane makes the bike go faster. And of course, Brock was saying, no, that's not the way it works. And I was commenting on that too, because no, I know that's not the way it works. And the 2017 Suzuki GSX-R1000 and 1000R both require 90 octane, kind of as a minimum. You know, that's because of the compression ratio of the engine. They match the octane to the compression ratio. That's how it works. So I was commenting on how I get the 90 octane. I just do 87 like you just saw me do, and then I do 93 1-to-1 ratio, and there's my 90 octane. Now a little hint, always pump your low octane first, then you're guaranteed to at least have the 90 or slightly higher. Remember that, pump the low octane first, just in case. And thank you to Brock Davidson for that, because the hose in the line may contain fuel. You don't know which one's in there from the previous person that showed up. So pump your low octane first, so you're guaranteed to be at least at the octane you want or slightly higher. So now how long did that take me, guys, with me sitting here talking and going on and on and on? It took me maybe 3 minutes tops. Okay, so these guys were saying, oh, I can't believe you pull into the gas station and go through all that trouble to, you know, get your 90 octane. That's just, you know. I'm like, seriously? It takes me literally 2 minutes. If I was off the bike instead of sitting on it, it would have been even faster than what you just saw. Okay, I got traction control off, which, yeah, that's probably not best. Let me put it up to 2. If you haven't watched my other videos about traction control on this bike, watch it. Very informative, very detailed. Okay. Okay. So, how do we attach ourselves to the motorcycle? And I'm braking hard and I'm squeezing the gas tank. Okay? Squeezing the gas tank. What is he talking about? What does a guy talk about squeezing the gas tank? With what? Let's not get weird. Let me do it again right here. Squeezing the gas tank with what? You can guess what I'm squeezing it with, right? Squeeze it with my legs. Now, what do most riders do? When we do a U-turn, by the way, how do we actually do tight U-turns with motorcycles? We do not use the front brake to slow down. We drag the rear brake. Look, I'm feathering the clutch a little bit, and I'm dragging the rear brake. Look at how it tightens up the corner. Okay, simple. Okay, we'll talk about that another time, but just a little primer on how to do tight turns, tight U-turns. Okay, so what do most people do when they're braking hard? What is it that you do? How do they stay attached to the motorcycle? Well, they're using their arms. That's what they're doing. Right now I'm squeezing the tank as I'm going through this little S's here. I'm coming up to a red light and I'm going to grab some brakes, squeeze it gently and then firmer, and at the same time I'm squeezing with my legs. Okay, I am not leaning on the bike with my arms. And why would we squeeze a tank instead of using our arms? Fatigue, guys, fatigue. You can't even do 3 or 4 laps on a racetrack putting all that weight on your arms. When I was younger and I raced a little bit down in South Florida, I didn't know anything about racing, right? I didn't know what I was doing. And I used to use all my arm strength. You know, that's youth for you. Now I know better. Okay? So here we go. I'm going to stop behind this car. I'm going to wait a little late on purpose. And I'm squeezing the tank. As I squeeze the brake, I squeeze the tank. And I'm squeezing harder and harder and harder. If I'm braking... Okay, here's the relationship. The harder you brake, the harder you squeeze with your legs, okay? The harder you brake, the harder you squeeze the tank. So why the tank grip? Because the tank grip is going to keep you from sliding up on the tank and racking your family jewels. Can't emphasize enough that we do not brace ourselves on the motorcycle with our arms. We use our lower body. And if you don't believe me, well, keep going doing the way you're doing it now. I dare you to go do 3 laps using just your arm strength and chest muscles and shoulder muscles to prop yourself up on the motorcycle. You're going to be so exhausted. Your heart's going to be pounding a mile a minute. Trust me when I tell you, squeeze the gas tank. If you're not doing that now, go get yourself some HT Moto tank grip or whatever tank grip you want and put it on your bike around your gas tank and pay attention to where your legs touch. Pay attention where your legs touch, whether you're in the front of the seat near the gas tank, when you're in the middle of the seat, whether you're in the back of the seat. Pay attention to all the spots your legs touch and put tank grip there. Practice squeezing the tank. And mostly under braking, but also on a hard acceleration, as your butt's going to be more in the middle of the seat, maybe even kind of towards the back a little bit. That's for loading the rear end of the bike so that you get good traction coming out of corners and stuff like that. That's kind of a little bit more of a racing technique, but it applies to the street too if you're out there doing some hooligans and having some fun, you know. So put it in your mind to grip the tank with your legs. Squeeze that baby. Squeeze it, guys. Squeeze the tank. Get used to it. Go out and get used to squeezing the tank. Now, if you don't have tank grip, you're going to exhaust yourself because most tanks are slippery and you're going to be squeezing, but it's going to be pushing you back off the back of the bike because you keep sliding around. It just doesn't work. Okay? So get yourself some tank grip. It's pretty cheap stuff. And you should be able to squeeze the tank and hold your body up while you're leaned over to the front. I mean, we are talking about practically a race bike here, right? If you can't support your body with your entire body, just with your legs squeezing the tank, hit the gym. Lose a little bit of fat. Do what you gotta do to get yourself in shape. Get your aerobic ability up. Okay? Because that's how it's done, guys. That's how racers do it. They're just not talking about it, but that's what they do. Okay? Trust me, that's what they're doing. So I'm going to brake hard, and I'm going to brake early, obviously, for good measure, but I'm squeezing the tank. I'm braking hard, I'm squeezing the tank even more. You can hear my effort go up, right, in my voice. Now, if I accelerate hard, I'm going to put my butt back in the seat just a little bit. So that's also a time to grip the tank. Usually with your more of the inside of your knees and not so much the inside of your thighs. Just think about it. As you slide back to the middle of the seat, the point of contact on the tank is going to be further down your leg, right? So that would be more like, for me, that's the inside of my knees and not my thighs. So I'm gripping the tank hard right there so I don't slide too far to the back of the bike, because I don't want the bike to wheelie too much. Want to try to keep the front end down. Of course, there's anti-wheelie, but to be honest with you, you really don't want to have it rely on it, right? Okay, to give an example of how you know whether or not you're properly gripping the tank with your lower body. I'm going to take both the hands off the handlebars right now. Cover the rear brake with my left foot. See, my hands are off the bike, right? I'm just covering the rear brake. Okay? Because if I have to slow down, I use my foot brake rather than my hand brake, right? Now, it's not as good as the front brake, but it'll still slow the bike down. It just won't stop it very well. So, what kind of test is that, I guess? What does that prove? Okay, well, it proves whether or not you're centrally located on the bike and whether you have good balance for just everyday straight up riding. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Hands are off the tank, and I can actually move the bike around. See how the bike's moving around right now? Let me get it down to second gear here. Nobody's behind me. Get up to speed here a little bit. Okay, my hands are off. And look, I can actually turn the bike to the right. I can go back to the left. I'm using my lower body to do it, okay? So, you should be able to get to the point to where you're squeezing the tank and you've got control over the motorcycle just with your lower body. Seriously, I mean that. You just saw me do it, right? And then you should be able to get to the point where you got your hands off the handlebars. And if you have a bike that has a steering damper, turn it up a little bit stiff, and that'll help keep the bike going straight down the road, right? Just, if you're not used to taking your hands off the handlebars, just take one hand off first, okay? And then just momentarily take your throttle hand off, but keep your hand right near the throttle and put it right back on if you're scared to do it, right? And just keep practicing to the point to where you feel like you got control of the motorcycle with your lower body, where you can just take your hands off. Now, yeah, I know it looks cool and all that, but the point is, it's going to help you learn control of the motorcycle with your lower body. Okay, that's what it's really all about. Yeah, so I hope that helps you guys out. I think that's probably more for new riders, balancing yourself on the bike properly, being attached to the motorcycle accurately. Okay. Now, obviously, if you're on a track or you're doing some aggressive street riding where you're going through the canyons, yeah, you're going to have to hang off the bike, maybe. That's a whole other topic. I think when I watch these guys on the street nowadays hanging off the bike, it's kind of funny, because they're hanging off the bike and they're not even at it. It's not even needed most of the time. It's just kind of funny watching them do it. And they're all, "I scraped my knee, I scraped my knee." I'm like, yeah, big deal. You had a 35-degree lean angle and you're scraping your knee, I saw a guy recently on the interstate, and I was in my car and he went by and the motorcycle flying by, and I noticed that he he was turning the motorcycle was he leaned. Okay, is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. That's one of the ways we turn a motorcycle. We lean. Okay, but it's not the primary way that we turn a motorcycle. So what am I talking about? You know, there's a lot of ways you can influence a motorcycle to actually turn. So this guy, and maybe to me it kind of revealed maybe a little bit of lack of knowledge, but unless the rider was intentionally practicing his leaning, you know. But so right now, for example, if I want to turn the bike left, I can just put my head even to the left of center. The bike can see it going left. There it goes. Okay, but I just use counter steering to go back to the right, and I'll talk about in a minute what that really is. Okay. So that's what this guy was doing. He was leaning a little bit, and he was very rigid, right? And leaning left. He was at high speed, and he leaned, and it took a long time for the bike to actually change direction. Right? Because we are talking about change of direction, right? When we go left or right, we're changing the direction that we're traveling. A little bit of physics, but okay. So here comes the corner to the right, and I'm going to do it leaning. I'm just going to stay straight up on the bike, and I'm going to lean. The bike's going to the right. I'm traveling really slow, by the way, 41 miles an hour here on a 60-mile-an-hour road. And I'm leaning a little bit. I'm still leaning. I'm not using any other method to steer the bike. I got my bike leaned off a little bit to the right. Now watch, if I stay there, it's going to go right off the road. Okay, I'm going to counter steer it back to the center of the road. Okay. Alright, so that's one way that you can turn the bike. You lean. But it's going to be a little bit slow. They will get the job done, but it's a little slow. Now, motocross riders, dirt bike riders, the way they often turn is they push the handlebars. You know, right now the handlebars are level across like this, right? They're left to right. They're level. The left one isn't lower than the right one. Follow me? But in motocross, they push down on the left one, and the bike will go left. They don't turn it left and right. Well, they might sometimes. Yeah, I'm sorry. They do turn it, but one of the ways motocross riders turn is that they push down on the handlebar, straight down, and the bike will go left. Okay? So let me get to the right side of the road. I'm going slow, because the bike's going to be more responsive when it's slow. And I'm just going to push down on this handlebar, straight down to the ground. And the bike goes left. See that? So, but in street bikes, road racing, we don't do that. We don't push down on the handlebars. You know, if I push down on the right handlebar, of course the bike will go right. Yeah, same thing. So, you know, I can just move right there. I'm just pushing down on the handlebars, left, then right. I'm pushing down. And I see a lot of riders do this on the streets with their street bikes. They push down to make that. They just push down. And I gotta tell you, wrong. We talked about leaning to turn, and we talked about pushing down on the handlebar straight down to the ground to turn. Now let's talk about the third way. This is the primary way that motorcycle racers get the bike to turn or change of direction. And that is, I'm going to start with the left handlebar here. You pull the handlebar towards you, not down. Okay, you pull the handlebar towards you, and the bike will turn in the opposite direction of the handlebar that you're pulling. Okay? So let me do that right now. I'm going to pull the left handlebar towards me. I'm on the left side of the road, left side of this lane. Now as I pull the left handlebar towards me, the bike is going to turn right. Watch how fast it just turned there. See that? Let me get up to speed. Now I'm going to pull the right handlebar towards me, and the bike's going to go left. Look at that. Now I can stay straight up on the bike without leaning and just make the bike turn. Okay? So, now let's talk about the ability to turn quickly. What's the fastest way to turn a motorcycle? We use both counter steering and leaning at the same time. So we're going to lean off the bike a little bit to one side of the motorcycle, and we're going to pull the handlebar towards us to turn the bike. You can also push the handlebar. Some guys, you'll hear them say, I prefer to push the handlebar away from me. Okay, you can do that too, whatever you're comfortable with. In that case, if you're going left, if you want to go left, you would push the left handlebar away from you, okay? So I'm going to push the left handlebar away from me, and the bike goes left. See that? I'm going to push the right handlebar away from me, and the bike's going to go right. I'm going to lean a little bit with the bike, okay? So here we go. Let's get the bike up to speed. The faster you go, the harder it is to turn a bike, guys. That's just physics. So I'm counter steering. I'm in 6th gear, bringing the bike up. I'm leaning. I'm holding my lean. A little bit of counter steering. And okay. And that's it. Hard brake, squeeze the tank. Down 3 gears. Squeezing really hard here, okay? If you hear my voice? Squeezing real hard. Not using my arms, guys. Okay, guys, I'm going to do a U-turn right here, and we're going to use the technique of dragging the rear brake. We do not use the front brake on tight U-turns. I'm going to pull in the clutch, and I'm touching the rear brake only. This turn is actually pretty simple. Let the clutch out here. I'm dragging the rear brake, guys. Tighten up my corner. Look, I can just go, I can crawl. Look at that, I'm crawling in that U-turn. Okay? So, practice that, guys. If you want to do tight U-turns, don't touch the front brake. Drag the rear brake. If you want to tighten the corner more, a little more rear brake will slow the bike down. You can tighten up the corner and feather the clutch a little bit if you need to.
Well, there you go, the importance of tank grip and how it actually helps us to ride better. I know I jammed a lot into this video. I'm sorry about being a little long, but sometimes that's the way it is. Hope you got something out of that. Listen, if you haven't subscribed on the YouTube channel, just go ahead and click on the flag. It's either going to be over here or over here. And give me a thumbs up in this video. We'll see you back here again real soon.